Last time on Reforged.
I can't beat Hugs in a fight.
Wait, is this who I'm fighting?
Oh, yeah. Hey, I just want to introduce myself. My name's Zephyr.
You fought well. I'm very proud of you.
I go to blue. I go, Hugs. I grab him by the pinky, and we go to blue. Let's go to blue.
Pippi farewell, 4 points.
Hugs is gonna slowly look down towards Pip.
Jesus.
All right, Pippi's in first place, and Hugs is in second. You're looking down at a velociraptor.
Oh my God, this is awesome. It's a maze. I want to get down and then disguise myself as a raptor.
And Zephyr just leans in and he's like, "You're not a dinosaur." Is this a dinosaur?
Yep, it's a dinosaur.
What a twist!
I turn around and I say, "Can we tie?"
I just hold the half out with the broken half facing her. So she just jerks it out of my hand.
Pippi wins.
You 4 followed me up to the private scrying room where visitors aren't allowed. And there's this geyser in the background.
Well, now we know where the water's coming from.
Would you 4 like to be my champions? I will be calling upon you soon. You're more than welcome to make yourself at home in the guest floors here.
Army, I require your assistance.
And you guys enjoy some nice milk. And you turn in for the evening.
Good night, my friends.
Hey everyone, I'm Austin.
I'm Ian.
I'm Zoe.
And I'm Ty.
Thanks for tuning in to Reforged, Episode 3. All right, hey guys. Welcome back for another episode of Kindred Reforged. Actually, it's just called Reforged. But we're in the lands of the Kindred, and I'm here today with the, I don't know. What would you guys call yourselves as a team?
The bunch with 2 U's.
The Boonch.
The
Boonch.
No, it's the bunch.
We are the Boonch.
We're the Boonch.
We are the Boonch.
We are the Boonch. Do you know the way? Anyways,
We don't
I'm
have
gonna
to be
make
the
a
Boonch.
bunch of bacon.
We don't have to be the bunch. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And just in case you've forgotten who these people are, we have...
All right, so I'm Ian, and I play Hugs, the Goliath Barbarian.
I'm Ty. I play Talvar, the half-elf blade singer.
I'm Zoe. I play Pippi, the bard half-elf. And my Instagram, @ZoeTheShane. And Zoe without a Y.
So, all of you are currently in Khoryll's quarters, which is hard to say.
That is pretty hard.
Khoryl's quarters.
The quarters.
Quarters of Khoryll.
Quarters of Khoryll. You're in the guest house, essentially, on the level of the Polestar Castle that Khoryll lives in. And, yeah, you guys are all asleep. Except for one of you that wakes up in the middle of the night. And that is Pippi, actually. You have this just, odd feeling just kind of in your chest, and it causes you to wake up, and you look around, and actually you can see that everyone else is a little unrestful, too. Pippi, you have this odd sensation that, you're being pulled somewhere, and you can feel almost like someone moving around the floor above you, and it's a hard sensation to describe. You feel like you need to go there. It's just in your soul, I guess.
Man, I'm gonna take myself and get right on upstairs then. I say this really quick.
I was going to say, do we wake up to her talking?
Yes, that's okay.
I very much talk to myself. I'm like, I'm gonna go upstairs, and no one else is gonna know.
You really are little Gideon.
Yeah, Zephyr opens up his eyes and he's like, "Hey, what's going on, little one?"
Shut up! I'm gonna go upstairs.
Can I go too? Is that cool?
This is my adventure.
Mommy, mama.
Actually, no. I think I should wake everyone. I think I should wake everybody up. Because what if there's a horrifying creature and I'm very small? So as much as I do want my own little Pippi adventure, I will wake up everybody.
The Adventures of Pippi.
Okay.
I'm gonna whisper into everybody's ears, and then I'm gonna say, everybody, we gotta wake up. There's something upstairs, and I'm freaking out a little bit. We gotta go upstairs.
Sorry, did you say something?
Oh no, nothing. I'm just saying we gotta go upstairs.
Very well.
Okay.
Let me put my pants on.
I'm gonna go away from you. Hey, Talbar, he doesn't know how to whisper. I don't know how you're still asleep. Get up. We're going upstairs.
Okay. There's kind of like this main spiral staircase going up the castle, so you guys kind of creep your way up one more level. And that's when you notice there's like these little blue flecks, like these little blue wisps that are floating through the sky, just kind of randomly all over the place on this floor. And they're concentrated just outside the doorway, so if you were to step any further, you would run into them.
Oh my god. Everybody shut up.
What are these things in front of us?
No, stop. Don't even move.
They look like sparkle
Stop.
sprites.
Shut up.
I stick my arm out the door.
No. Oh my god.
Okay. Yeah. So you
freaking
you stick
out a little bit.
your hand out, and one of the little wisps bounces off the palm of your hand, and it turns this like bright yellow color, and it floats around, and you see as it gets near other wisps, they turn yellow, and then soon it's just like an explosion of light, and everything is yellow.
I am blinded.
I need one of those, and I don't know how. When you touched it, did it feel like you could just grab it?
No, it felt pretty incorporeal.
Okay.
And
And
look at the bright light. Is it doing anything else?
no, they not only do they like turn yellow, but when they're yellow, they start zipping around pretty fast. And that's when you hear someone kind of call out from. Let me describe this hallway. It's very similar to Khoryll's, where at the end of the hallway, where the living quarters are, that's where your staircase is, and kind of off to. If you went forward and a little bit to the left, there's kind of like a balcony that's overlooking, like it's like a garden, an atrium almost. And so you hear someone call out from that garden, and you recognize Maiden's voice. And she says, "Hello, who's out there?"
We are the champions of Velvet.
Madam, is that you?
Yes.
Maiden.
And you see her step out into the hallway, and she reaches out and touches one of these little wisps, and it turns blue, and that blue color spreads out again. Yeah. You can tell that, like, you've talked with Maiden before, and she's responded to you fairly well, but she just seems genuinely confused you're here. And you can hear her whispering to herself, and she says, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And then she looks inquisitive for a little bit. And then almost sad for a moment. And she says, "I guess I was wrong about who would be here." And she beckons you towards her. All of you.
Wrong? Wrong about what? Maiden, what's going on?
Usually, I can see what happens. But this time, I can't. It's just dark.
Yes, it is nighttime.
Hugs! I smack him.
Maiden says,
It is dark. And I suppose it is you four that will actually be lighting this way. Especially you, little star.
and she reaches out and pats Pippi on the head.
I do not have much time before I need to go, and before you need to return to your quarters. Listen, champions. I need you to remember, you are not dictated by the hearts of those you serve. You can find your own way. Please remember this.
But I'm super following you, Maiden.
Yes, little one, I know. And that is why I need you to do a favor for me. And she hands you this violet gemstone with 7 different facets. And it's just remarkable. And you can tell that it's magic as well.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Pippi, I need you to return this to my quarters for me. Will you?
Of course I could do that for you, maiden.
Thank you. And in return, you can have what is on the top shelf.
That's cruel, maiden. I'm very short.
Don't worry, tiny thing. I will get it for you.
She cracks a little smile there.
Well, you certainly do have this big one here to look after you. And in fact, in the coming days, you 4 will be needing to look after each other.
And as you guys are talking, you see like another maid just kind of like her on this level. And she peeks around the corner and is just kind of watching this exchange. Talvar, you notice her because you're kind of looking around and you see this maid just kind of spying on you guys. And Maiden continues and she says,
I know you 4 are going to make a difference. And I know you're going to be okay.
And she walks towards the balcony, and there's this beautiful garden that's surrounding this one pedestal, and on that pedestal is just kind of like what looks to be like a magic ball, essentially. This crystal orb. And Maiden actually touches this orb, and moonlight seems to refract off of it, and she disappears. This maid nods and disappears back into her quarters and leaves you 4 alone. And when Maiden disappears, so do these little tiny blue lights.
We gotta go back to her room, right?
It sounds like we need to return shiny thing.
Do we know where her room is?
Definitely not.
Should we go
Let's
get
ask
that
that
maid?
man peeking around the corner there.
I love how it's a man.
Zephyr, do you know where her room is?
Well, it's pretty obvious. I mean, and he looks forward, and there's just like this massive just double doors. And he just kind of points at it.
Hugs immediately begins walking towards them.
You walk forward, and you actually feel like a tingle of magic as you touch these doors. But nothing happens to you, and you swing them open. And inside Maiden's study is just, I mean, scrolls and upon scrolls and books. And like the amount of writing that's in this room is just extraordinary. Like more than any person should write in one lifetime, let alone 2 or 3.
Why did she send us here?
I don't know, but where does this gem go?
She said to just return it. I'd leave it in the middle of the floor. That way she knows exactly where it is.
Measure exactly the center of the room. I'll put it on her pillow.
Okay.
Or unless there's a very obvious stand in which it goes.
No, you
Set
can
it
put
on the
anywhere.
desk.
I'll put it on the pillow.
Okay.
And as you go to set this gem down on the pillow, you take a moment to look at it, and that's when this enchantment pulls you in. And suddenly, your consciousness is in this large room, and all around you are the silhouettes of the 7 different animal lords, and they all seem to be asleep.
Perhaps we should smash this gym and free them.
No.
It's like fist was already
I'm
raised.
gonna cut that line while it's short.
What would happen if we touched that orb thing in the garden while holding the gem?
We're gonna return it like she told us to.
But I want to touch the orb thing.
Well, I'm gonna return it, and then you can do whatever you want with the gem.
Return this gem and I shall grab everything off this top shelf. How many items are on this top shelf? Because he will take all of them.
There's literally only one.
Oh, okay.
And it's the only physical object in this room besides like paper. And you grab it, and it's like a spyglass / like a sextant, like a navigational object. So,
That's so cool.
I'm just trying to picture how that would look in my head.
It appears she has given you a piece of junk. Enjoy it.
Thank you so much. I will treasure whatever this is, and I know what
Junk.
it is because I'm an adventurer.
But what happens when you look through the spyglass?
Think that are far away seem closer.
I'd like to examine it, just to look around it.
the
whole
sextant,
bunch.
you kind of. It is a brass sextant, and so it's actually fairly heavy. And there are engravings. There are engravings of various constellations in it, actually. and the gemstone inside of it, instead of it being like clear glass, is some sort of blue tinted glass, like a sapphire.
Okay.
And it feels magical in nature, and as you kind of examine it, you're not entirely sure what it is yet.
I think I have plenty of time to figure it out. So I'm going to put it in my bag. Very hidden and out of sight. Not like when I put that thing in my satchel last time and everybody saw it somehow.
Because it was very big and you were very small.
That's very true. All right, I put it away.
Okay, you guys are left in this just musty room filled with papers and not much else. You've left the gem behind and you have this new brass navigational instrument. And that's it. What would the three of you like to do?
I want to touch the orb.
Okay.
It's out in the
Go
garden.
do that.
Hugs is probably going to head back to his room.
Okay. Zephyr's like, I'm with you, big guy. So Pippi and Talvar.
I might just go back to... I just want to go to bed. Because this is... I
touched the orb.
All right.
Okay, I'll watch him. I'll watch him touch the orb.
All right. Go ahead and roll an Arcana check as you touch this orb.
15.
Pippi, you're watching Talvar fondle this ball for a little while.
Just gonna back away slowly.
Inside, you see the top of a tower. And in this tower, there are 8 pillars. And engraved on 7 of the pillars are the animal lords again. And the 8th pillar is crumbled and destroyed. And also, you can hear something below. And you realize not only are you like looking into this gem, but like, Pippi, you see Talvar holding this gem and he is like comatose, like he's staring straight forward and is like not moving.
Oh, cool.
Talvar, you can move around inside this other world, we'll say. And there is a staircase leading down, and you can hear some kind of something. You're not close enough to hear it all the way. Would you like to continue downwards?
Everything says no, but yes.
You walk down this spiral staircase, doesn't last long, and you exit into this grand hallway that has this just opulent red rug that goes all the way down. And it leads to a massive set of doors. And when I say massive, probably like 100 feet tall. And you slowly start approaching these doors, and that's when you actually hear what is beyond them.
So, I go back up the stairs.
Can anything be heard outside of the orb at all?
No.
Okay.
You see Talvar twitch a little bit on the orb.
Actually, is there anything else in the room I'm in besides the giant doors that I can't hope to open?
And the pillars.
Pretty much just that.
Okay. Then I guess I'll go back upstairs, try to figure out how to leave. Actually, I also want to examine the broken statue.
Oh, yeah, sure. You walk up and do what to it?
I want to figure out what it was.
Oh, I see. So you're like trying to pick up the pieces?
Mm-hmm.
All you can tell that on this tablet you see a lot of like curvy sort of lines, but the pieces, like these are like boulders basically that are falling down.
So wait, the serpents were actually a real people? Like they're not a new upcoming one? They were actually here long before?
You start feeling like just a ridiculous like fatigue start to fall over you, and when it gets too much you pop back into the real world and almost crumble right onto the ground in front of Pippi.
Woo!
I kind of let him.
That's not
I'm too
surprising.
small to catch him.
He will crush me. I guess I throw a scarf down so he doesn't.
One of your mini scarves.
Scarfy.
All right, let's go to bed.
If I'm still holding the orb, I put it back and then go to bed.
Okay. Yeah, you get back and Hugs and Zephyr are just out. And you crawl into bed and fall asleep. All right. You wake up to Ami being like, guys, wake up, please. Now,
Please.
wait. It's time to wake up,
She's so polite.
guys.
Hugs will wake up and just be like, "Ah, Army, perfect. I require some eggs and bacon."
And yeah, like her nostrils flare a little bit,
Just-
and she's like, "Of course, yes, of course, I will get you that. But first, it's the Lord Khoryll has summoned you to the viewing room upstairs."
Ah, yes, we must hasten to see Lord Velvet.
I don't know if I trust that Khoryll dude.
Hugs
I
is
put on my
already
jacket
getting
and
dressed
start
and
heading
going up.
Yeah. She's like sitting in the back, like, I don't know.
I'll
Please
stand
leave.
cautiously behind them,
Okay,
like I always do, I guess.
so you guys are, cautiously, I guess, approach the top
Hugs
tower.
is just,
Yeah, I was like,
yeah.
we just
Zephyr strides in with a kind of a little bit of a swagger too. So it's
So
just Pippi
fabulous.
that's like kind of
Straddling.
straddling behind. And Khoryll is upstairs, looking out that same mirror over the Serpent Lands. And he hears your footsteps come in, like patter against the ground. He says,
Oh, yes, you're here, finally. Please, step up and look into this gem. I have some things to explain.
very well, Lord Velvet.
Lord Velvet. That's actually kind of cool.
He'll walk forward and look into it.
and you take a look in this gem. And now that spot that used to be a huge geyser is now like, you can see like a bubbling coming out of an actual ocean. Like the sea has returned, which is weird for you guys if
It
you
must
remember.
have rained a lot last night. What am I
Oh, that's
looking
right.
at?
It was raining.
Yes.
raining.
And
It's more like there was a geyser shooting so high in the sky it covered the entire land with water.
I forgot about that. That also happened last episode.
yes. Khoryll continues, and he's like,
Yes, it did rain quite a bit. And that has something to do with my first mission for you, my champions. I hope you remember the geyser and the crazy storm from last night, as well as the fight that partook over in the Ravenlands, yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that was the first sighting of the Serpent Clan we've had in quite some time. And I need something from them. And I would like you to go and recover this item from them, if you will.
Will there be fighting involved?
Yes, there will be lots of fighting involved.
I am already on board.
and he like claps you on the shoulder. Well, he reaches up, claps you on the shoulder.
It's about to hit the shoulder, thinks against it, and just goes the side of the arm.
Oh yeah, there you go. Tap tap tap.
So what's our mission?
Well, I have received reports last night that the Serpent Clan came from some ruins on the ocean floor over there, and I believe that geyser has spooked them out, making this the perfect time to move. And that move will be to infiltrate that base. And the reason why is that the Serpent people are in possession of very unusual weapons.
Hugs raises an
I
eyebrow.
would like for you to infiltrate those ruins and recover as many of those weapons as possible.
He raises his other
And if you
eyebrow.
find any Serpent clan members along the way, well, just disarm them, will you?
Big old smile.
I think we could do that, right?
Yes!
I'm in.
Yes, and Talwar.
What about you, Zephyr?
Zephyr is like, yeah, I'm along for this ride.
Well done, Sparkles.
Zephyr, that's your
That
nickname
face,
from
oh my-
Hugs.
Oh, that's my nickname?
That's
Yeah.
Zephyr's nickname, yeah.
Sparks.
Yes, does it not work? He's covered in shiny objects.
You are a human sparkle, Zephyr.
Is that a compliment?
Yes!
All right, I'm in.
You sparkle like the sea.
Like the mission we're supposed to go on. Let's do it.
All right, yes.
Yeah, let's go.
So, and with your
getting
weird little
awkward
exchange,
in here.
Khoryll just looks back and forth for a second. He's like,
Excellent. And because you are of my company, I have the best resources for this mission. And for those said resources, I am going to have you travel to the city of Saltport.
Are we going to teleport?
I think we're gonna walk
I meant from Saltport.
with our legs.
Actually, have you ever heard of the ship, the Alabaster?
Making a history check.
History checks.
19.
5.
And history is intelligence, so
Yes.
11.
All right. So I guess Talvar is the only one that recognizes this at first.
Hugs has a blank stare.
All right. So do you guys remember me telling you about this religion in the Whale territory, the luminescent religion?
The whales?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you remember, this religion started because 3 powerful luminaries came across the sea, and the Alabaster was actually the ship of one of those luminaries. So it's a legendary ship made of this like beautiful white wood that comes from some other land, and it's
ancient.
It is. It's extremely old, and it's basically a warship.
Nice.
So, and
I
Khoryll
like
goes on,
it.
using the privilege I have bestowed upon you, you will become the newest crew members of the Alabaster and use it to travel to the Serpent Ruins.
Oh, I'm excited about this mission.
Oh, and before you go, I would like to bestow upon you one final gift. And Khoryll like swishes his hand out in front of you, and all of you suddenly feel very present of each other, as if you can actually like feel each other as you move around the room. And he says, "This is."
I've never felt so small.
I feel like it would actually make you feel bigger.
Because you have...
It's not like individual, like I feel what they feel.
Yeah, you can feel them.
Oh,
Maybe you
okay.
could just...
It's more like extending your senses.
okay.
So
Yeah, like you're not feeling their heartbeat or what they're touching.
Okay.
That'd be horrifying.
it's like I suddenly have 4 hearts.
Jesus!
They're all beating incredibly fast.
And in addition, you can feel Khoryll himself. Like you have a connection. And he says, "That connection is because of these." And he taps the emblems that he gave you the night before.
Mm.
That's cool.
Do not lose them.
Hugs will stop picking at his then.
He's slowly
He's like using it to pick his
unwinding the
teeth.
strings on his...
Yeah. So, because it is the utmost importance that we get you to Saltport as quickly as possible, I will be preparing a teleportation spell for you.
Hugs gets like a grimace on his face. He's just like, oh, wonderful.
Yes. So, if any of you have any final preparations to make...
Are you saying that we should say our last words?
No, I'm not saying that.
We're not going to die on this mission, are we? That'd be ridiculous.
Freudian slip. He says, no, most likely not. But anyways,
How long do we have?
to bring these back,
No, to make preparations.
To live?
and you can see he struggles to be patient, and he says, "Hugs, literally, as soon as possible."
Very well. Army! Eggs and bacon, quickly!
And you just hear from like literally 3 floors down.
No, I like to think that he just turns around and knocks it over. No, I like that from a distance.
I'll run downstairs and get my backpack then.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
I'm always carrying everything that I have.
Does Hugs get his eggs and bacon?
Yes.
So, because it's like the last thing that she's gonna bring to him, Hugs will literally leave her the remainder of his gold, 15 gold pieces, and just give it to her and say, "Thank you for all of your wonderful service."
She holds 15 gold pieces like they're like $1,000. Like it's a lot for her.
Aww.
And she's like, "Oh, Hugs."
You truly were wonderful, Ami.
It's
Well,
like,
thank you.
now I feel bad for spitting in your bacon.
Don't eat that piece.
Adds
Give
some
that
extra
piece to
protein.
Zephyr.
Yeah. She's like, well, for what it's worth, I hope you come back. I will serve you bacon. And she leaves.
Aw.
All right, I'm ready to go.
I'm good.
He exclaims to the room.
I'm ready.
All right, no one
Wait.
needs to do anything before you leave?
Let's be pirates, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this.
All right, so Khoryll had instructed you to come back up to the top chamber, and when you get back, you see he has drawn like this extremely complicated circle on the ground. In this world, teleportation's a little bit more complex than in standard D&D. Because I don't want you guys to be like, yeah.
Just like
So.
a Batman circle.
Yep. So, Khoryll says, "All right, each of you, please take a seat down on one of these sigils, and this teleportation spell will only take a few moments, but remain completely quiet.
Hugs looks extremely uncomfortable.
But you can tell that Khoryll actually starts singing in ancient eagle language. So, and soon the runes start to glow and they reach like this crescendo of light. And right before you teleport away, you hear him say, "For what it's worth, I do hope you return." Austin here, your DM. I'm stepping in real quick for this week's Artist Spotlight. The following composer means so much to me. His work has changed me as an artist more than once. He is a member of the Pleasurized Music Foundation, a California nonprofit that fights loudness insanity by supporting music with high dynamic ranges. This man is Ben Rusch. You'll hear his song Grace off the album Mews. He is remarkable. Please check out his music on Spotify or Magnatune. Especially listen to his solo project, Jasmine Brunch. One of those albums is my favorite of all time, with a dynamic range of D14. Ready for this impressive title? This album has 2 parts. So, an album by Jasmine Brunch. The story of what happened on the day when the girl in the blue dress decided to stand alone in the rain. Again, Ben Rusch and Jasmine Brunch. Check the show notes for the link. Back to the adventure. Everyone roll a dexterity saving throw.
Ah!
So I rolled an
12.
18,
All right.
16.
but I kind of want to roll a 1. Hugs doesn't do well with magic stuff. How about
Does
I
it
have
roll with
disadvantage? How about that? Yeah. I rolled 17 again.
You want to swap rolls?
Hugs, you're really
I
just
rolled
good this
6.
time though. No, you're just really
Alright.
good this time, I guess.
Maybe. It's Ami's cooking. It's just wonderful.
All right. So as you guys teleport through, Hugs immediately lurches forward and smashes Talvar to the ground. But he stands and everyone else manages to get their composure. And you see a guy with a basket of fish just staring at you, all confused. He's like, "What the hell?
Hugs,
What the hell
Hugs
was
immediately goes over and throws up into his basket of fish.
Oh!
Oh, sorry, sir. Oh, wait, hold on.
All the eggs and bacon.
I give the guy 2 gold.
He looks
Apologies, sir.
He looks at the 2 gold and he's like, "Well, all right. I'm very disappointed. You threw up in my fish."
Apologies.
You could probably just take out those top fish.
No, I'm pretty sure that whole basket's garbage now.
You can see that this basket is filled with nothing but mutton and apple cider or whatever you were eating the night before.
And eggs and bacon.
And eggs and bacon.
That's horrible.
He looks at it and he's like, I think I can wash these all right.
Don't go to the fish market.
Anyways, can you tell me why you just fell out of the goddamn sky?
We're looking for the alabaster.
He pulls the basket of fish aside as Hugs tries to...
That was a good question. Talvar?
So we're looking for the alabaster.
He's like, well, you're not going to have to look too far. And he points down towards the pier, and that's when you get a good look at the city of Saltport itself. And it's more of like a hamlet, I suppose. A bustling trade center with a lot of wooden buildings, and it is very port city-like. And he looks towards sea, and you actually see this just huge glowing white ship. And against the morning sun, it's almost blinding. And perhaps that's why you missed it at first. It is bright as
It's gonna be floating on the sun.
Yeah. And it's got 3 of these just glorious sails extending up into the sky. And even those are made of this white wood. And the sails themselves have a silvery color to them. They're not just that standard white canvas.
Well, thanks for the passive-aggressive answer, mister. I sure do appreciate.
Well,
I just nod to
I
him
didn't
and
mean
start
it. I
walking
didn't-
towards
oh.
it.
Apologies
I'm
about
just kidding.
killfish. Pardon me.
That's all right. I'm not eating them.
We'll see ya. Then
Okay, bye.
Thank you,
I guess we're
Fishman.
going to the.
And you can actually see that, like, as you guys are approaching this ship, like, Zephyr seems pretty excited. So, yeah, he's a little bit giddy. He's like, I mean, do you guys know much about the Alabaster?
Not a thing.
Not really. I'd have to roll to figure out.
I have to roll to figure it
She
out.
speaks in tongues. I have no idea.
If you guys have, like, a good reason to know, you can just know. But none of you are whale people or anything, or
It's true, but-
eagles. So,
I study history, but I only know about the ship. I don't know
okay.
a lot about it.
Tell us about it, Zephyr.
Well, he's like, all right, but I don't know too much about the ship itself. But I do know a lot about its captain. And he grins, like, wildly.
It's a girl.
I don't understand the meaning of his face. It's weird.
That's a crush face.
Oh, yeah.
I say that out loud. That's a crush face.
He's like, it's not. It's not a crush face.
It's not.
He's too. Let's go to the ship.
So, and yeah, you guys approach this ship, and it is docked in what is now an ocean. Like, it looks like before it was kind of held up on some kind of, like almost like the Queen Mary. Any sort of dock ship would be like these big wooden platforms that
Right.
were supporting it. And so now that the ocean has actually risen, you see people like pulling those away, and the ship is actually floating again. You walk up to the pier, I guess, and there's just kind of one guy standing there as everyone else goes about their business, and he's like, all right, name please.
Hugs is like looking around. It's like,
This town is taking to the return of the sea very well. The sea is back.
It's a sea town, isn't
has
it?
the sea like been just like gone, like dried up for like,
Yeah,
the
for
past,
many
like-
years.
Yeah, like the nearest parts of the sea certainly haven't. Like, if anyone wanted to do fishing, they had to travel like a long ways to come back.
Okay.
So
Okay.
this is pretty exciting.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah, and this guy's actually, not only does he say like names, please, but he's pretty confrontational. Like, he's kind of like guarding it. He's like, yes, I get it. Everyone wants to see the Alabaster.
I just show him the emblem and keep walking.
Say, we are
towards
the
ship.
champions of Lord Velvet, and we have sought passage on the Alabaster.
Lord who?
It's Lord. I break in. I squeeze in. it's Lord Crow. It's Lord Crow.
Coral.
Coral. We'll fix that in post. Don't worry about
Everybody's got
it.
nicknames for him, apparently.
I like it. We'll fix that in post. Don't worry.
There's those tongues again.
It's funny because she keeps her accent whenever she goes to correct something.
I like to be the third, the fourth wall
The
breaker.
audience surrogate.
Yeah.
Well, she is a bard
True.
who speaks a or with an accent nobody knows.
So yeah, and you guys are kind of like giving him wrong names, and he's getting very confused. And then Talvar just kind of like flashes the badge, and this man stiffens up, and he's like, "Oh yeah, yes, yes, of course. Please, go right ahead." And you have to climb onto this via like a rope ladder. There's no like drawbridge on this sort of ship. It's too sturdy.
I can see this going really
I was gonna
bad
say, is there a
for us.
dexterity roll involved with this?
If you go slow enough, there is not.
Oh, okay.
I think we can climb a rope ladder.
They're actually
Yeah.
really hard to climb.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's climb this rope ladder.
All right. So yeah, you guys climb up and hop over this ladder, and the first thing you see is like there's just people running about preparing for something. Like, obviously maybe just for the ship to take off. And that's when you notice two people in particular. One is somebody that like is almost as tall as you, Hugs. Because you're like, what? You're not actually 8 feet, are you?
No, he's like 7'11".
All right, so like this guy is like 7'6". So yeah, this giant, like, he's an orc actually, and he's got this just like massive set of plate armor on, and he's got this long cape that's just like flapping crazily in the wind. And there's this tiny little halfling that's kind of standing in his shadow, and this halfling is just like barking orders across the ship.
Secure that cargo. Double check that gunpowder. And double check the wave maker, please.
When I see him, I nudge Hugs and I whisper, "Careful with the chairs."
Yeah.
Good one. Silence is no longer silent. I'm gonna call you funny man.
And as soon as Hugs is like, ho, 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 this little guy's like face just like snaps towards you.
Roll for no.
And yeah,
Roll for
Constitution.
he walks up to you and he's like,
Who the hell are you?
We are the champions of Lord Velvet, here seeking passage on your ship at his bequest.
I show him the badge.
and he actually like reaches up and like tugs on whatever the badge is attached to,
Yeah.
and pulls you down a little bit and takes
I
a
have it
closer
tied
look
to
at
my
it.
waist, but
So he pulls his pants down.
Yeah.
he walks up.
His pants is up.
Maybe his collar, huh?
Yeah. And he looks at you with sort of skepticism, I guess. And he's like,
You are the four that High Lord Magister Khoryll sent?
Yes, allow me to introduce us. I am Hugs. This is Funny Man, Monkey, and Sparkles.
We're very good at what we do.
And who might you be?
and he kind of lets out alongside. He's like,
You haven't heard of me before?
Absolutely not.
Well then, I guess I'm going to have to introduce myself. My name is Gallitrix Maximilium.
Could you please
I
spell
will
that?
call you Scallywag.
and this here is Windbreaker. And he looks up at the orc, and the orc just stares down, completely silent.
He looks over. I get it.
But he lets out just a tiny fart. Because his name. Because get it, never mind.
Oh.
I see, because he stands in front of you and blocks the wind.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
I understand this. It's like nicknames. I understand how these work.
And Windbreaker just nods in agreement. And so Gallitrix continues. And he says,
Well, I don't need to give you a full tour of this ship, do I? I mean, I think you get how this works.
I believe so. It's a ship.
yeah, there's 5 levels to it.
I mean, you're pretty amazing. If you could give us a tour of the ship, it'd be mighty helpful. Of every room.
In great detail.
Could you introduce us also to every NPC?
He's like,
I think we can get it.
NPC?
I think we can.
I'm gonna actually go up to the crow's nest and just start playing on my little.
He's like, thanks for welcoming me on your ship. Shimmy, 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 shimmy.
All right.
Perhaps he
Yeah.
should have been Monkey.
You seem to have gotten on Gallitrix's good side. And he says,
All right, yeah, sure. I will show you whatever you want to see.
Oh, cool.
wait, no.
She's 14.
I'm gonna say, actually, I think I'm good. That was more of a joke than I'm gonna go.
Don't worry, Scallywag. You can show me whatever you want.
Anyway, I think we can show ourselves around.
All right, yes, of course.
There's only 2 people you need to meet, and they will be up shortly. Explore the ship a little bit, and I will call you out when they have arrived.
Very well.
So you're the captain, right?
No, I am not the captain.
Oh,
The captain of this here ship is Captain Ivory.
Oh,
all right.
how fitting.
Yeah,
Ivory.
yeah.
What does
and
that make you,
Alabaster.
my man?
I am the head war mage aboard this vessel.
He's a mage. Be frightened.
Cool.
Hugs is like,
Yes.
I see.
And Windbreaker here is the head war master of the ship.
I will get to know him instead.
He doesn't talk much.
That's okay. I don't need to have him speak. I just need to see his muscles flex.
He just sits there and just like, oh.
He just scoots away.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. But all right, sure.
All right. Well, I think we should break up.
Just all of you get to, a chance to kind of just like look around the ship if there's anything you want to know about it before you kind of like you're supposed to get acquainted with this boat.
I'm good on my crow's nest.
I imagine Hugs will probably kind of find where the food is on this ship.
Sure. And so Hugs, you wander down, and the level immediately under you is filled with like a ton of different weapons and things like attached against the
He
walls.
forgets about looking for food.
All right.
and we'll attempt to take some weapons off the wall.
And you hear behind you just like a
He turns around.
yeah, and Windbreaker is just standing there.
Hugs will raise an eyebrow and continue to reach for one of the weapons.
And so like you reach towards like a pole arm, and he just pushes his hand against the top of it and holds it against the wall.
Hugs is just like, might we spar?
And Windbreaker raises one eyebrow.
I like this man.
And he shakes his head no.
Very well. It is your boat. I shall respect your rules. But we will spar later.
And this he actually nods to.
All right.
Going down one more floor, you arrive in a room that stretches the entire length of the ship. And there are dozens of these long tables. And they are made of something like some special sort of marble. And they glitter and sparkle. And that's great and all. But Hugs, there's no food in this room. Looks like they would hold a lot. But right now there is nothing.
An empty dining hall.
Disappointment.
Hugs' disappointment is growing.
Can I look for music? Anyone that's playing music or any
panpipe.
any? I climb immediately. No, I would like to search for maybe a magic room or a music room.
Okay. So you actually kind of get lost in a couple of these little hallways as you meander about. Like you're peeking around like in people's quarters, and some people like kind of like shoo you out of rooms. And eventually you come to seems to be like what is like a scrying room. There's this like pool in the middle, like a basin, and it's got water filled to the top. And there's this friendly old lady that's kind of just like swishing her fingers in it. And you can see like different images in the bowl.
Okay. Is this on the -3rd floor?
Yes.
Okay. I want to go up to the woman and get to know her. She sounds like an interesting individual.
Okay. Yeah, so you walk up, and she seems oblivious to you at first.
Okay. Hey, miss. What you got there? What's going on?
She looks up, and she's like,
Oh, well, you're quite the tiny one, aren't you?
You don't need to be rude about it. Very sensitive about my height, madam. What are you doing in that soup there?
and you can see she's squinting at you, and she's like,
What is a little child doing on this boat?
What's an old woman doing with her finger in soup?
She's like, I'm liking you less and less.
You're running out of time, missy.
She's squinting, but she squints harder.
She's like, It's a scrying bowl, but I doubt you can see over the top of it.
I take. Is she
hear-
standing on something?
I was gonna say, you hear from like in the other hall, just ooh.
I say, I maintain my composure. I say that's a good one.
I'm just joking with you. Here, come here.
Okay, I pull up some books, I guess, and stand on top of it.
And she looks at the ground, and she's like, Those are my nice books. Okay.
I take off my shoes, I guess.
Wipe your shoes first.
So, and you look into the bowl, and right now it's overlooking the city of Saltport. And she says, I'm just kind of testing this out right now. So, trying to figure out how far it can go. And you can see it kind of like zooms over, and like actually you can see Polestar in the distance. So, it's pretty far, like the view of the scrying bowl. So,
You're so talented. What's your name, madam?
My name's Aileen.
Aileen, what a beautiful name.
She says, Oh, thank you.
Aileen, it's been great, but I'm going to go explore some more. Do you know where a music room is?
A room just dedicated to music?
Mm-hmm.
No.
All right.
she looks into the bowl, and she's like, It doesn't either.
All right, you guys can do something. I think I'm just going to watch what she's doing because it's super interesting.
Oh, okay. Hugs. You just see Windbreaker come up, and he just kind of like grunts behind you. And then he just beckons you to follow him.
Very well.
And he goes up to the top deck. And you just hear Pippi. You hear Gallitrix's voice. He's like, Little half-elf girl, where'd you go?
I'm on the -3rd floor with Aileen.
And eventually he finds you. And he's like, All right, there you are. Here. I need you to come up to the top
It's Pippi, by the way.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
Pippi.
Okay.
Pippi.
Pip pip hooray.
That's a very odd name. All right, let's go to the top deck. Yeah. Talvar, you see like your companions come up to the deck, led by Gallitrix and Windbreaker.
I guess I'll slide down the net.
All right. You get rope burn. No.
All over.
Actually, these ropes are perfectly smooth, so you can actually slide down them without getting rope burn or anything like that.
It's really useful
That
for a
is
ship, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't make more like that.
So, but the one disadvantage is there aren't ropes that are like, there's not a lot of friction on them.
They're
so
just too slippery, so you can't save anybody.
Yeah, so a lot of them are tied down, but they also look like they're super durable. So it doesn't look like you have to replace them very often. And yeah, Gallitrix points over at this other halfling that is kind of like jogging across the deck, and she is like probably one of the smallest halflings you've seen, and she's just decked out in clerical robes that are a little too long for her. And not only that, but like on her back she has like a wicked mace. Her robes kind of swoosh about, and you can actually see like a row of daggers around her belt. Yeah. And Gallitrix says, all right, well, that over there, that is Sunny. She's our lead cleric. She doesn't like me very much, and don't piss her off. She's rather violent for a cleric.
I like it.
I don't like having another very short girl. I already filled that demographic.
Pippi's just jealous.
I have a ridiculous name as well. This is ridiculous.
As like you guys are all kind of like whispering and talking to each other, and Gallitrix is pointing at her, and you see her face just like she turns around and just stares
I
at you
just
guys.
hears Hugs shout, I like it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and she immediately starts over towards you.
Ooh, she comes this way now.
Yeah.
Last time I was down by the docks, I caught 4 sailors watching me. And guess what? Only 2 of them walked away with all of their limbs. Now, let me ask you, who are you looking at?
You!
Well, all right then. Why?
He was telling us about you. I hear your name is Sunny.
Yes.
We'll have to fix that.
All right then. What do you think my name should be?
I have to get to know you first. Right now, the only thing I have to go on is that you're violent.
And she glares at Gallitrix. Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I smashed him in the face one time. He had it coming.
Face smasher.
Yes.
Strong. I
And-
like it.
That's when you realize that Gallitrix has like a bent nose.
Bent nose.
And Gallitrix is like, oh god damn.
Oh man.
All right.
She's like,
Well, I want to stick out my hand really quick and say, "Hi, I'm Pippi. I would like to shake your hand.
I guess I have to. And she holds
Your
out
big,
her hand.
strong hands." I don't like this person.
It is a pleasure, Face Smasher. I am Hugs.
That's unfortunate. Why do they call you Hugs?
Because I have a tendency to bring people to the ground in great pain.
Just like a hug does.
Yes!
And you, she looks mostly confused at you. But Windbreaker is like, And everyone looks up at Windbreaker for a second, and she's like,
Well, nevertheless, the captain will be along shortly, so sharpen up. Or you'll end up looking like Gallitrix.
Ha ha, I like it!
This is Captain Ivory, right?
Affirmative.
All right. I'm excited to meet this gentleman. Thank you.
you guys hear the sounds of polearms hitting the ground below deck. And shortly after, 2 doors on the floor of this ship, so like trapdoors, fly open, and out steps 2 soldiers. And directly behind them, you see a tricorn, sort of like a musketeer hat, start to appear with this long white feather. And up steps the captain, and everyone snaps to attention. She immediately commands the room.
I thought it was a man because I'm sexist.
Yes, this is Captain Ivory. She has these piercing amber eyes against her dark skin, and she is clad in just brilliantly white armor. The hat is white, the feather is white, the entire getup is white. And Captain Ivory is a human, and she has a pretty powerful physique that you can see underneath this armor, but she also has the elegance of nobility, and seems like she spent a lot of time in the court.
She's just super respected, like, immediately when you look at her.
Yeah.
She just commands respect. I am in love with this woman. Yeah. I think everyone in the entire ship probably has a little bit of a crush.
Yep.
Now
And-
Pippi does as well.
Crew, welcome aboard the Alabaster. In case you forgot, I'm Captain Ivory. We're going to set sail soon, but first, have Khoryll's men arrived just yet?
Yes, Captain, we are here.
Oh, and she looks straight over to you and she's like, fantastic. We've been waiting for you. Where are the rest of you?
It is just us four. All you need as the champions of Velvet.
You're so beautiful.
And she kind of hears that whisper and she looks down and sees the emblem and she's like, oh, there's your fourth?
Oh, there's the fourth.
Yes. And
I feel so honored to be recognized. Senpai.
Notice me, senpai.
Notice
Yeah.
me.
Senpai has seen you.
Is Pippi actually like kind of like enamored? Like
I'm crushing big time on
Okay.
this beautiful woman.
and she gives you like a flashy sort of like I get it kind of grin. So
I understand.
yeah. And
How
she-
could you not?
I look away with my hands in my face. I'm like,
Doki doki, stay in here.
Yeah. And she continues, all right, everyone. So I know my crew's face, but there's a lot of new faces here. And so let's make this easy. If you have been aboard the Alabaster before, please raise your hand. And you see like about half the crew raises their hand, Gallytrix and Windbreaker, and so does Sunny.
Really?
So they all raise their hands. And yeah, and she actually looks at those three and she's like, yes, of course, I know you guys. And she's like, just so you all know, this ship can go very, very fast, thanks to the use of Gallytrix and his Wavemaker. So, listen here. If any of you are uncomfortable with high speeds, you are more than welcome to go below deck. And any of you staying above deck, well, please, hold on. On to something more important. We will be passing through dangerous territory, and I do expect some fighting. So, first question, does everyone have a weapon?
Yes!
more or less.
Yeah.
Do you require something else? Or perhaps something of a little stronger make?
Well, let me look at my inventory.
What happened to have enchanted scimitars?
I have a crossbow, long sword, and a short sword, so I think I'm good, and a rapier.
You are quite loaded
I
with
think
weapons.
I'm good. I don't know where I got all these.
She's like looking
from,
at her purse, just like.
but they're all very small, I imagine.
So, yeah, she gets, she walks up to you and actually gets down to one knee and she's like, here, let me see that, please.
Okay, and I give him immediately.
Can you sign this?
I'm never watching these weapons.
No, you'll want to. The blood will corrode it terribly.
And so, what was your melee weapon again?
My melee weapon is a longsword, rapier, and a short sword.
You have all three?
All three of those, I guess. I have a lot of simple weapons.
Which one do you want to be your primary and you hand to her?
I mean, I guess a short sword, because that's hilarious.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
she's short.
Okay, I'll do the short sword, because I
Okay.
can actually use that, yeah.
So, you hand her the short sword and she says, does this weapon have any importance to you? Or significance?
Yeah, not
is
really,
now.
actually. I found most of these
All right,
weapons.
great. And she throws it over her shoulder, and she snaps, and then all of a sudden, like, you see a windbreaker, like, duck below the deck, and he comes back with a silver short sword, and she hands it out to you. I think this is much more fitting for the encounters we'll come to face. Oh my god.
Hugs looks at it, looks at his great axe, and like throws it overboard.
So I seem to be requiring a great axe.
So,
We're out of great axes.
Captain Ivory's still focused on Pippi, and then she just hears,
Oh my god!
and she turns towards the noise, and she's like, all right, who did that? Who threw that?
Hugs is just like,
It must have been Jeffrey,
Who's Jeffrey?
the bagpiper.
And below deck, you just hear. All right.
The ghost of Jeffrey.
Does Hug actually try to lie to the captain?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're
Because
gonna
he
have
wants
to
a
roll.
great
Yeah.
sword or a
Probably
great
no.
axe.
All right. Go ahead and roll deception, I guess.
Natural 1, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's just like, Jeffrey must have been trying to tell you that I need a new great axe.
And like you could have maybe been persuasive, but you actually see Sunny just like shaking her head back and forth, and then the captain like takes this like you barely notice like a flick of her eyes towards her, and she's like,
All right, let me get one thing straight. Crew members never lie to me, and I will never lie to you. So, Windbreaker, if you please.
and he does return with a silver inlaid great axe.
Hugs is practically drooling.
He doesn't even care that he totally disrespected this.
And she says again,
All right, this is the last time I'm going to ask. Does anyone need anything?
I raise my hand and I'm like, can I get a scimitar? 2 if possible.
Yes, absolutely.
and like you see Windbreaker already had 2 scimitars. Yeah. And that's when you hear, all right, yeah. And
Sparkles, what do you require?
yeah. And he's like, oh, no, I just want to introduce myself. And he walks up and he flicks open his cape and he's already got like some silver stuff. And he tries to look cool. Let's see if he looks cool.
He trips.
Oh, no.
He looks just okay.
Wait, so maybe he would have looked cooler, but immediately after he does that, Hugs is just like,
What are you doing, Sparkles?
And under his breath, he's like,
Yo, shut up.
yes. No, it is me, Zephyr. And
Call him Sparkles.
It's just me.
you keep calling him Sparkles. And then the captain is like,
Oh, Sparkles, huh? That's actually kind of cute.
Yes, I thought so as well.
That's our Sparkles, all right.
and you can see that like Zephyr, like he struggles to keep his face straight, and then he just bows and steps into the crowd, and he just hangs his head as he walks
sad
away.
Charlie Brown
Yeah.
music.
Yep. And the captain's like,
All right then, let's depart.
unfurl the sails, and the sails open up, and you actually see Galatrix walk up, and he pushes some wind against the sails just to get the boat to like drift out. And he pushes wind a couple more times to angle it in a certain direction, which you know is pointing towards the Serpent Lands. And you see a bunch of guys like scrambling down under the deck.
Hugs will look to see if the captain is going below deck.
No, she seems perfectly fine, but she does walk up to one of those silver ropes and grabs hold.
Hugs, in an attempt to impress her, will try and just stand and hold his ground on this on the bow.
Okay.
I'm going to brace myself against the wall.
Oh, just like the railing or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just gonna low-key grab onto her leg.
Okay. She just like feels someone just like kind of grip her leg a little bit, and she looks down, and she's like, all right then, hang on, little one, here we, and like you hear like this humming noise, and like behind the bow of the ship there's like this sort of ominous red glow. And then the sound that accompanies it is sort of like an explosion.
Nice.
And immediately like a ton of steam goes everywhere. And not only does the ship like shoot off like across the water, but it actually like leaps out of the water for a moment. Everyone roll you can use a strength if you're holding on to something, dexterity if you are not.
Perfect.
I'm dead. All right.
Oh, 19 plus 1, so total of 20.
13, so 11.
All right.
I got 15.
You got a 15?
Yeah.
All right. So, Talvar, as this ship shoots off, like you're holding onto the railing and you slide all the way across the back of the ship. Pippi, you like immediately start losing your hold, And you feel the captain just reach down and put like a very firm hand on your shoulder, and you don't go anywhere.
I feel so safe.
Hugs, you're basically surfing right now.
Yes! Hugs is like, yes!
He's so excited.
Yeah. I imagine he's like the dog is like his tongue is all flapping out. He's
His
like,
dreads are going everywhere.
It's an odd question, but how as long is everyone's hair?
Hugs, I think Hugs' hair goes almost down to his waist.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's got real long dreads.
So not only are you surfing, but your hair is just like glorious.
Yes.
Like, you know that noise, yeah.
That's right.
Just like a flag in the wind.
Talvar?
My hair's pretty long, but I keep it in a loose ponytail in the back.
Oh, okay.
Taking notes for drawing later. Mine's about 2 feet long.
2 feet,
In
okay.
ponytails. I have 2 pigtails.
Oh, okay.
So
They're holding on, and the captain's is basically like it kind of goes down just past her ears, so it's pretty short too.
Mm-hmm.
But hair is flying everywhere, and she is just like grinning like a mad woman, I guess.
that's awesome.
So
At this point, Hugs forgot why he was doing this to impress her and is just enjoying himself.
Oh, he's so cute. I love it. He's so happy. It's contagious.
That's right.
and pretty soon, like the ship, like you guys kind of get used to the momentum, and it's still hauling across the sea, but it's definitely more it's easier to manage.
Mhm.
And pretty soon, like people start to come up, and like there's a couple of them that are a little bit green in the face.
Those green ones, like Hugs, will like slap on the back and be like, "Isn't this amazing?"
Like you slap one dude, and he's immediately throws up in his mouth and like tries to run away.
And then it goes back in his face, of course. Hits Talvar in the back.
Talvar, roll a dexterity.
Roll a vomit check. My
15.
So
you got a
you're
15.
you dodge them. It's tricky, and pretty soon, like the ship slows down to a point where like you are not stuck to the back wall anymore. I guess Gallitrix has been up on board, but like he has been holding on to Windbreaker, standing behind him basically.
Yeah.
Yep. So and Zephyr
'Cause
and
he's a windbreaker. I like this character.
Zephyr and Sunny were downstairs. So
What were they doing?
Hugs will definitely like run up to the captain and be like, "That was incredible."
she says, "Well, wasn't it?" That's one of my favorite things.
Definitely
do it
still holding
again.
on.
Yeah.
We should do it again. Why not? Get there faster.
I have a feeling we will do it again, hopefully.
Well, the wave breaker is going to take some time to recharge, but when it does, we'll do it again. Don't worry.
So, you guys are still just cruising across the ocean, and you have a moment to talk with any characters that you would like to. And you immediately overhear the captain saying, "Yes, so there's a few things we might encounter. One of which is people have heard that the Alabaster is up and running again, and is a pretty coveted ship. And so there may be a few pirates along the way."
Hugs is immediately grinning.
I like that attitude. That might just come in handy.
I'm holding on as tight as I possibly can. I'm like, is it over yet?
Oh yeah, she pats your head and she says, "Oh no, it's okay, tiny one. You can let go now."
Do I have to? And then I realize how ridiculous I look. I'm so embarrassed and I'm flustered and I just walk away. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Oh no.
The little thing is embarrassed.
Oh, shut up. I just walk away. Thank you for saving my life. I just walk away.
Yeah. And like as you walk away, she says,
All my crew is very important to me, of course. You can always rely on me, as I will be relying on you.
You hear that, monkey? We can rely on
Don't
her.
call me monkey in front of her. I smack him really quick.
in like the shin or something.
In like his calf. Like, as I'm walking away.
You can see that like Zephyr has taken to like making cool poses about the ship.
I love it. I love it.
At one point, he's on the crow's nest with that classic like hand over the eyes, looking over the horizon, and like
Nice.
Yeah.
He does look
Nice.
really cool.
That's right.
oh yeah, he sparkles quite a bit too.
Ooh.
Shimmering, wow.
Sparkles looks wonderful up there in that crow's nest.
What was he doing while we were doing all this?
Oh, he popped up every once. Oh, you mean like when the ship took
Was
off?
he just underneath?
Yeah, he went underneath. He
That's
was
funny.
not too confident.
He probably didn't want to mess up his hair.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool.
So,
That was good.
yeah. As like the ship continues on, and at one point you hear the captain say, "All right, crew, we have a banquet set up below, so please help yourself if you're not too sick."
Hugs is already moving downstairs.
You just hear food, and you're like,
Yeah, just
so. But the captain stays up top to kind of overlook things. And Gallitrix is up there as well. They seem to be like always on point. Those two at least. And Sunny is kind of always popping in and out of the crowd, kind of looking around.
And after Hugs like eats a little bit, then he'll probably gather some food and take it up to the two of them.
Oh, that's nice.
So Hugs, you're coming back on deck with
Yeah.
some food
Mhm.
towards the captain and Gallitrix.
Yep.
And the Windbreaker.
Yeah, but
The
he's just like,
windbreaker.
It's like, your attention is admirable. I always appreciate those who would stand watch.
Well, of course. How do you think this ship has survived this long, huh?
I know nothing about it.
And the captain looks over and she's like,
She's an absolutely wonderful ship. I'll tell you about her more later.
Please do.
"What was your choice of food for the captain?"
what was the choice of food in the little galley?
Pretty much anything you could think that is time period appropriate. So there's
Okay.
like mutton, there's like various like fruits and grains.
Hugs is pretty partial to meat,
Yeah.
so most of the things on the plate are meat.
Okay.
But yeah, probably like a small assortment of vegetables and some little bits of fruit, but mostly meat.
Okay. Yeah, and you hand this plate to Captain Ivory, and she says,
You know, this is pretty sensible, Hugs. Thank you. I appreciate it.
and she picks at some of the vegetables.
Yes, of course.
He gets off. Yes.
Where is Talvar and Pippi?
I'd be up on the dock or deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You jump up to the deck, and that's when you hear Gallitrix shout out.
All right, we got some things out here in the dark on the starboard side. And Sunny pips up as well. And she says, We got some on the port side, too.
And out in the distance, you actually see like what appears to be just like black logs, I guess. Like they're just these weird circular or like round objects. But then you actually see like lights kind of light up on the side of them. And as the ship is cruising through the ocean, it's like slowed rapidly, as if it's like hitting like gravel or something.
Whoa.
I can see in the dark. Can I see anything?
You so you can see down into the water, and there's like nothing the boat hit. And you can see that there's probably maybe 10 of these ships kind of like circling around you guys.
Oh, geez.
It appears your opinion of pirates was correct.
Hug says as he draws his axe.
And
Whoa.
Gallitrix is like,
I don't think these are pirates.
They will die just the same.
and yeah, actually the captain looks down at Gallitrix and she's like,
Well, Gally, it appears that we're in a situation again, aren't we? How many of these fellows do you think we can make die?
Hugs looks over. I like it.
and he scans the horizon and he's like,
I would say about
70% immediately. And the captain looks kind of disappointed and she's like,
only 70? Wow, Gally, you're getting pretty rusty.
and he gets flustered and he gets mad. He's like, 85. 85 is about as good as I can do.
Hugs looks down and is just like, I will kill 100% of them.
I don't know if those odds match up. You get the 85, I'll get the 100.
And Zephyr has popped up at this point.
Hey guys, what's with the holdup?
We are about to kill things.
I'm in the basement with Aileen eating. I brought her some food, but we're just chilling. I don't know if I know what's going on
She's like
yet.
teaching you how to scribe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so actually out of the bowl there comes like this faint red light, and you hear Aileen go,
Oh my.
What's going on, Aileen?
I'm not sure, but and then the ship, that's when you feel the ship slam to a halt.
What's going on? Oh, Jesus!
My notebook.
Like you roll towards the front of the ship, and like all of the water in the bowl goes on top of you.
Not the magic water.
She's like, sweetie, it's just normal water.
Thank goodness.
And we're in an ocean. I've got a lot of it, but you should probably get on upstairs. and see what's going on.
Take the rest of my food. I'm gonna meet my friends.
So all of you are on the deck of the ship, and you see some of these like boats coming in closer, whatever they are, kind of weird-looking objects. And Talvar, make a perception check. Anyone who has dark vision can do this.
Ha! 10.
Hugs is standing in front of him.
20.
20?
Uh-huh.
You have dark
I didn't
vision?
roll
as
it.
a
I
half-
didn't roll it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
as a
a
half
half-elf.
elf.
That's right. That's right.
That's the only reason I didn't choose human.
That's funny.
And the ears.
Yeah.
So, and you can see that like these ships, like they actually have some kind of like dark net over the top, and you can see figures on inside like a few of these. So, and that's when you hear Gallitrix like start to like chant out a spell.
Well, all or nothing on this one.
And out of his hand shoots this just glorious bolt of lightning that hits the water and scatters across the water, like it dances across the surface. And he like hits squarely like 3 of these ships, and they immediately like burst into flames, and electricity dances across the front of them, and they sink. You can see he's pretty surprised. He's like,
Well, I guess they're a little stronger than I thought.
and these ships, they rapidly approach, and you can actually see like nets shoot out of the ships, and they start wrapping around random parts of the Alabaster, and people start climbing the ropes towards you guys.
Hugs will be like, "That's what you get for trusting parlor tricks," and runs over to where these people are boarding.
Parlor tricks.
Thanks again for listening. Before we go, I wanted to say I truly appreciate you guys rating and subscribing on YouTube and iTunes. We are a young podcast, and just one moment for you means the world to us. So thank you, thank you, thank you. If you haven't yet joined the community, you can find us at Reforged Staff on Twitter. Additionally, if you want to find me, Austin Rasmussen, my Twitter handle is @Trenchmaker.
I'm Ian Early. I'm on Twitter @BrotherTortoise.
I'm Zoe Shane, and I'm on Twitter @ZoeWithUmlaut.
I'm Ty, and I slip back into the shadows.
We'll see you next Friday. Enjoy your weekend.